Welcome back to All Sorts of Sports.
All sorts of sports in the day.
I joined this time.
Brandy.
It's my turn. Sorry.
What?
That's your air shush. You're a fine pot. What a good pie you will be. Yeah.
All right.
I haven't worked out the rest of the lyrics just yet.
That's fine. All right. Well, welcome back.
Thank
guys.
fucking God.
So
we're back. Back in the New York groove.
All right. We're going to start this off talking about Shannon Sharpe leaving Undisputed and Skip Bayless.
I would say that if it were up to me, because James never asked us for anything that we want to do in what order we want to do them in. I mean, I wanted to talk about Succession for the first half of the pod, but
I will murder you.
Literally, for the past 5 minutes,
can we add Succession to the top?
No, we cannot.
It's not my fault you forgot.
You had a full pod on that. I don't care.
Thanks for everybody watching. Best numbers we've got in the pod in a minute.
I don't care.
It's not my fault you forgot. You could have brought it up. We could have talked about it.
And I would have vetoed it.
Well, that's if you weren't such a
what?
I was gonna say something inappropriate.
Yeah.
Dictator when it comes to how it is that you go about delegating what we talk about on the pod. You ask for no input and it's very rude, but we just show up.
Cool.
It's just so wrong.
You're welcome.
KDot, I hope you stub your toe.
Oh, I stubbed the shit out of my shin the other day.
No, today.
Almost cried. Almost cried. Huh?
You got a dent?
So I feel my leg, and apparently I already have a dent in my leg that I don't know what it's from, but there's a divot.
Yes, because you lived life.
Yeah, that's true. I've lived a lot of life. All right, Shannon.
Yeah. Shannon leaving.
It's my turn.
Finally. We knew this was coming.
See, the thing is, there's a know it's coming, but I don't think it's all that much fireworks necessarily when it comes to this, right? Like, it's.
What do you mean fireworks?
I don't find it to be a huge deal, or it's not a huge surprise, and I also don't think it has much to do with the relationship between Shannon and Skip. I think it's just a natural progression of things. So, like, I know everybody's going to turn to like all the YouTube clips over the last how many months. So, the stuff that happened after the DeMar Hamlin thing. You've got Skip telling Shannon to do this, to do that. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you really look at what that show was, when FS1 launched, right, and tried to be a network that was going to rival ESPN or like the shitty things that NBC Sports are doing, what FanDuel's trying to do now, the two guys that they had to kind of lead the shows there, the two big gets were Skip Bayless and Colin Cowherd. And those are the two big guys that they got. Now, the thing is that nobody, I think, would be under any circumstances not saying that those were two big names and big gets in the sports world. As far as what we're doing here on a podcast, like, it doesn't necessarily exist in the form that it does if you don't have guys like that. They're flag bearers for this. When Shannon came on, he was he's a Hall of Fame player, but was also known at least as the Fubba Wubba Dubba guy at CBS. Like, he was the dude that stumbled over his words, but was extremely entertaining at one of the heads on Sunday on CBS with James Brown and the rest of those guys, right?
And one of the best shit talkers ever. One
of the best shit talkers in the history of the league. We can go back to watching, like, the best season of Hard Knocks to this day is the 2000 Ravens one with Tony Saragusa and those guys. And it was great. But we knew that since the Denver days. He's a trash talking great dude in that sense. But as far as what he meant in the TV medium at that particular point in time, it's night and day, Skip compared to Shannon, right? But I think that what ends up happening is that over a period of time, it is Skip's show. Like, both names might be in the letterhead, but it is Skip's fucking show. And when you get to a point where Shannon, because of the clips on YouTube, because of his Club Shay stuff, because of the fact that he's become so much better on mic and on camera, he's sort of elevated himself above Skip in some ways. And FS1 has just failed to maintain the same kind of traction that they would need to compete with something like ESPN. Because ESPN's almost impossible to compete with if we're talking about a sports television standpoint, right? They are the kings of this shit. So if you have Shannon to kind of elevate himself to a certain degree, and now he's gone beyond the show, it's up to FS1 to do what? Raise the contract level, give him his own thing. But if you're Skip, do you really want him to have his own thing? It was sort of you have the contract, you have this, you have that. Shannon just outgrew the show.
All right, so I have a question for you. So you are under the impression that they No, you don't think that they don't like each other.
I don't think that it matters all that much. Like to me, you can come to work every day and not necessarily have the best appreciation or best connection with somebody as long as you're making gold on television, right? So like, if you were to ask anyone who has a show, like I would challenge you to ask anybody at ESPN how they feel being on Stephen A. Smith's First Take. You don't. It's not equal. It shouldn't be equal. You're not. You are a guest on his show. And I think that what now is that they just haven't changed that formula at FS1 with Undisputed, when you now have a guy whose personality sort of superseded what the show concept was, right? Which is that here's my butt, I'm Skip, and here's my debating partner in Shannon Sharpe. Here's the other guy. It's the reason that also Stephen A. Smith on ESPN never lets anyone get too big on that show, right? The last guy that got that big was what's his name? That was it Kellerman? Yeah, Kellerman at one point. Let's move him somewhere else. The moment that he gets to a point where your personality sort of rivals the guy whose show it is, all right, this is just going to be unattainable if it's going to be my show. Because I earned this show. It's mine. And that's the way that they treat it.
I disagree a little bit.
Yeah, the difference though between Stephen A. and Skip is that Stephen A. is like 55, 54, 52. I don't know.
I have no idea.
And Skip is in his early 70s. So it didn't make sense from a standpoint that like Skip's doesn't. How many more years does he have? Right? How many more years can he continue to do this? And what are you going to do afterwards?
I think it's just
Sharpe seems like he would have been a great person to take over that show that he's been on for so long. So I was confused as to where he thinks he's gonna go from this. I mean, he's gonna have lots of opportunities, but Fox is going to be without a show in that segment at some point, and probably sooner rather than later, because Skip's getting older. Like, he could probably run a 30-minute segment, but I don't know for how much longer he'll be able to do that.
They just don't like each other. If you look at Shannon Sharpe's tweets and the shit that he's been liking, like even some that are explicitly calling Skip Bayless a asshole and like,
I mean, but he is
a shitty kind of person. Like, nah, but they don't like each other. We know it. Everybody knows it. You can see it. Like certain shit you just can't hide. Even like looking at how they interact with each other now after it's over, you could tell that they don't like each other. Like, I don't think it's
the clip. Did you see the clip that's going viral from a few weeks ago, or maybe a month or so now, where Skip is talking about how people are jumping off the sinking ship, and he turns and he looks to Shannon. And that's the thing that FS1 is that I think people are failing to realize. FS1's ratings are not what they need to be to sustain the contracts they have over there.
I have never once watched an actual FS1.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
I have watched the clips.
Thank you.
Right? And so YouTube's getting those eyeballs, and Twitter, but I have never once been like, you know what I'm going to do from 11:30 to noon today?
Let me hop on an FS1 train.
Yeah, let me hop on. I don't even know what channel that is. I don't even know if I have FS1.
So like that's the thing is like FS1 is it's not what it needs to be, but that's the thing is like Skip went, as you said, the age of the age, right? Do y'all remember Cold Pizza?
Mm-hmm. Yes, one of my favorite shows. Jay
Crawford, Kit Hoover start Cold Pizza in the early 2000s. I don't think I'm still in grade school at that fucking point, like when they first started out. I'm at least still K through 12 and something. I might have been high school somewhere. But you remember what they had a debate segment on Cold Pizza, and it was Woody Page and Skip Bayless. And if you look at like the genesis of all this stuff, comes to that 5 o'clock block that they used to have on ESPN. 5 o'clock block that they had on ESPN, which was
5 o'clock.
Yeah, you did.
I was trying to let it go, and it just kept like bouncing.
Cocks are on my mind.
What?
So many cocks are on my mind.
How you say it kept bouncing like he goes like this?
I got cocks on the brain now.
Yeah, cocks on the brain. It's like Seth Rogen's Jonah Hill's journal in Superbad.
Yep.
Dicks.
A big veiny bastard.
The 5 o'clock, god damn it. The block on ESPN that used to be, well, I think it's still there. It's just not, it doesn't carry the same weight it used to, was Around the Horn PTI. That's the bench, that's the bench, right? It's still there, but nobody watches the same clip that they used to. But Around the Horn was the thing that first gave all these sports journalists, all right, we're going to become the talking heads, right? So like you had the good guys, you had the villains in it. Everybody loved Woody Page. You remember Jay Mariotti, who's had a bunch of shit that happened. Like Jay Mariotti would be on there. You have Tim Cowlishaw would be on. All these guys started making a name for themselves as television personalities. And Woody Page was getting up in age and didn't want to fucking wake up everyone to do this shit. So Skip had to find somebody else. Remember, Stephen A. Smith was just a guest on Cold Pizza at one point. And then they loved the debate that he was having with Skip, and they elevated. I don't think that there's ever a shortage of sports personalities that are going to get shows or at least get a bag in some sort of way, shape, or form. I think what it's going to come down to is guys like Shannon right now. Do you even want it? Because are the ratings ever going to get back to the way they need to be in order for you to really make the bag there compared to potentially going and starting your own thing? You see what ESPN is doing with the Pat McAfee stuff. It makes more sense for ESPN to try to go after big names right now to salvage what it is they do. And it just makes perfect sense for them to go after Shannon at this particular point to time up with Stephen A. But the same way that you could say that be the same way that I'm telling you guys, does Stephen A. Smith sign off on that? Because if Stephen A.
He literally just did.
Look, I think Stephen A. knows that he needs ratings just like everybody else does in the short term. But I can promise you, I don't think that that's something that's going to be long sustained as an equal sharing thing.
I don't think anything is going to be long sustained equal sharing.
Yeah, I just don't think that can exist.
Like, not for anybody.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it just is what it is. You know, like you'll team up for a couple years, then you'll do your own thing. Like Max has the morning show with Jay Will and Keyshawn right now. And Stephen A. still has First Take.
Don't love that show.
No, I mean, it's good.
It has its moments.
It's good for the time period that it's in, right? Like it's in the morning. You're waking up, making breakfast. You're gonna listen to people talk about what happened last night. Then
it's so ridiculous. Like, get up. It's like 24-hour news was enough. The 24-hour sports shit is just so much goddamn overkill. Like, it's just so much. But it's doctor's office stuff. It's the stuff that has on the background when you're fucking watching it, right? It's like,
but also you got to remember that, like, not everybody watches it all day, right? It's more so like you get it when you can get it. Well, like some people only have time in the morning to look at sports or whatever. Then you got people that work all night and wake up in the middle of the afternoon. Then they can watch that segment. You get what I'm saying?
They need Everest College commercials. Nigga, you just watching First Take all morning?
Yeah.
Go apply for a job.
God. Those were legendary.
Yeah, they got sued.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what all those student loan breaks were for. Is for Everest College.
Money.
Everest was a scam. No, but the thing is, people watch what they, I think, either what they can or they'll pick the guys that they like to watch, right?
Yeah.
They'll pick the people that they find entertaining. But yeah, it's kind of like a dying breed. I don't know. I'm sure Skip will be a staple at FS1 till he retires, but like they're not the ESPNs. Like nobody's like, I'm going to tune into FS1.
I think it's going more towards like podcast,
and it's never going to happen. I don't. Maybe
sort of. I think it jumps back and forth.
Draymond's new media.
Well, that's the thing.
I don't consume that though. So,
but as we are a part of it, the new media aspect of
like former athletes.
Regardless, we're all part in the same landscape. So, like, it's the thing. Like, we wouldn't kill to have like a former athlete. Like if we get like a Lorenzo Alexander on here to just be one of the guys that are here talking. I'm like, we do it in a heartbeat, right? So like
Chris Cooley
or Chris, he'd never do it. So there's like,
and Chris Cooley, we got bitches.
There's a jumping back and forth that happens, right? So like, if you do the podcasting as we're doing right here with our middling views and our subscribers, we do appreciate you guys. You don't fucking comment, but whatever. The thing is that you have to build this, right? So like, I have a full-time job. I got my own fucking business. Ryan's a lawyer. You work fucking 80 hours a goddamn week.
No,
you work a lot, at least at certain points. You want to fucking kill yourself. The
4 times a year.
We're doing this, right? We don't get paid for this yet. We don't get paid for any of this yet. But even if we were getting paid for it, right? It's work. We don't have a producer. We don't have any marketing people. We don't have any of that shit, right? It's a lot of work. So you get like Pat McAfee, who built his shit, built his own thing. It takes a lot of time and effort. If ESPN comes calling and says, hey, we'll take care of all this shit here for you. All you need to do is have the personalities to show up and talk on a mic. And here's a giant bag of money to do it.
Less than what you were making, but
you don't have to do any of the other stuff, right?
Yeah,
so it's, and then what? Pat McAfee will probably do that until the end of his contract, and then what it'll do.
And he can still keep it on YouTube.
And then what will Pat do? I'll probably jump back over and do my own thing. Or if there's another job, or there's another option, or somebody to buy you out to do this, that, and the other. If Spotify came a call on the ASOS podcast, hey guys, we want to offer you a bag to do this. We'd think about it hardcore, right?
But who has offered Shannon? Who's offered Shannon this money?
We don't. That's the thing.
He will get offered money.
He will get offered.
It's not a question.
And the thing is, FS1 bought out his contract.
No, yeah. Like, it was not just the show, but also the network.
Yeah, they paid him money to fuck off. Which is weird.
I don't think. I think Shannon's the one who wanted to leave. I don't think it was like.
Yeah, no, it's
I don't think it was the other way around.
Here's what you can't do. Here's what you can't do if you're FS1. This is the reason you do the buyout. You can't have a guy who says he wants to leave, be unhappy with the company that you now give a platform to on your number one show every fucking day, where he could come on and shit all over your product. You can't do it. Usually what ends up happening is they get ugly. Usually this is when you get the non-compete clauses and the NDAs that come out, and it's 6 months before you're allowed back on TV, right? But I'm sure Shannon has a lot of leeway in that contract, once again, because he's not Skip, because he has the Club Shay Shay. Yeah. He has other things that he's able to do. So they probably can't lock him out.
Right. It just seemed interesting that they'd pay him money to leave. Because if you want to break a contract, you just both shake hands and walk away. Nobody pays anybody anything. And I don't think Shannon necessarily needs the money.
Good point.
And so I just
keep him happy.
Anyway, let's move on.
Because there's another thing FS1 doesn't want it. Not just having the guy on the network, but now we're gonna have a guy at ESPN with more views. And if we piss him off and didn't pay him correctly, guess what he's also gonna do?
Cook him.
Every day. That's how you know if James's thing is correct with how much he doesn't like Skip. This is we're paying you to do whatever it is you want to do. We're all good here. We treated you right, Shan? All good, brother? Cool. Yeah. Go do your thing.
Man, it's like a bunch of tweets saying like Skip is a piece of shit. So I'm like, come on. And he's still doing the show until the end of the finals. Speaking of finals,
Skip is essential.
I thought Fox News just reached their quota of black people, and
speaking of finals,
fucking Outkick comes.
Let's talk about the Nuggets and Heat.
Jason Whitlock and Shannon Sharpe.
No, that would never. No.
What would you call that show if it was on Fox?
Is black and fake black?
No, it'd be black on black crime because Shannon gonna beat the shit out of him.
All right, that's a good one. That was better than my line. Way better than my line. Fantastic job.
Jokic and Butler are going at it.
Are they?
Yeah, not really. Butler hasn't been himself.
So are they going at it? I wouldn't describe what I've witnessed in one game as anybody going at anything.
Yeah, Nuggets in 4.
I mean, if you ever play like those weekend tournaments, like soccer tournaments or baseball weekend or whatever, and like it's supposed to be 4 games, but you lose the first one 17-2, and the coach is like, "No, it's a long drive home."
That never happened. So I don't know. I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
I was always on the winning side, but there are like teams that are like their parents are like, we're not gonna win. It's not worth it.
That's
I
crazy.
Kind of feel like the Heat don't have a fucking chance in hell. Like they have been shooting like 25% from 3. Their key players have not been playing well. And you might be able to get away with that when you're playing the Celtics, who also are shooting 14% from the field. But it's not going to work against the Nuggets. And they have they were putting what the fuck? One of the Zeller brothers, Cody, Kyle, Cletus, I don't know what his name is. They were trying to put him on Jokic.
Yeah.
Like that was like they sat down there like, hey, we have a defensive plan to beat Jokic. It starts with a Z. Not a good plan.
I think they were trying to make Jokic a scorer, right? But
he didn't shoot in the first quarter.
I know. Exactly. Like, so, and
they were losing by 15.
What did they do towards the end? Because they came back in the fourth. Whatever adjustment they made in the fourth actually worked. That's
the Nuggets always slow down in the fourth quarter. That's what they do. And then they still beat you by 15.
They will still be, that the slowdown's part of
so
part
you
of
remember
the
you remember we did the whole
the elevation, they get tired.
You remember we did the nicknames of the series, like
remember you did. Yes, you were big on the nicknames.
Yeah. I don't know what this
full credit
was, but yes, full credit to you.
why the Nuggets are this good, right? It's the same thing here.
Because they're a well put together team.
Yeah. And Jokic arrived.
Jokic been arrived to me, but I mean, you arrived when you won MVP.
He arrived healthy.
You mean in the playoffs?
That is the key difference.
You mean like in the playoffs? Like, because he arrived on the scene in the NBA, but you just mean like the playoffs?
Yeah, no. So like it was the so you remember for all those years, everybody kept telling us that Rudy Gobert was the best defensive player in the league. And it was like, no.
He had 1 year.
Fuck no.
Like
no. Right. The analytic motherfuckers, right?
Yeah.
But you could see on the court.
No,
if Conley wasn't on the court with him, it didn't work. And it was like there was a bunch of shit there was a bunch of shit that with the Rudy Gobert stuff just didn't look right to me.
Yeah, and you played him off the floor.
Nikola Jokic, right? Nikola Jokic was I've been very honest about the fact that there's one particular reason I don't root for Jokic, and it has to change. I'm just being honest with myself. Everybody else wants to fucking lie. I'm just being honest for everybody.
Well, you just got to fix it.
No, well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Right. At the end of this, we'll talk about that.
Step 1, acceptance.
What step are you in?
Let's talk about this series.
He's just staying at step 1.
It's like it is what it is.
Baby steps, motherfucker.
It is what it is.
Champion's still coming out of the East. No, I'm sure. So
I mean, Serbia's way east, bro. It's as east as it gets from here.
Look, man, Jokic arrived on the level of being the absolute superstar that he is. And I think that the thing is that he put up the numbers those 2 years that he got the MVP. But this year, in what they did as a team, fundamentally, he became, lack of a bet, not because of his style of play, but because of who it means to the team and what he's doing as far from a sacrifice. This is his Tim Duncan year. This is him becoming the guy who's the great facilitator for everything that works. And I'll sacrifice my own glory in the regular season to do what I need to do to get us to the championship, right? So he took that superstar level in the playoffs this year. And Denver's also been healthy, which is something that they haven't been the last few years. The combination of those two things, they've been the overall best team in basketball. The only one that could be compared to is Milwaukee, as far as from a start to finish. Milwaukee's gotten old, and they weren't healthy this year. Denver has everything working for them, and they're young. It's just it all works out. They have been the best team in basketball for years now. It's just them. All the pieces are coming together right now. As for Miami, though, people need to understand or comprehend what Miami's doing. They shouldn't be here.
Oh yeah,
they shouldn't be here at all. They're an 8 seed they beat the Bucks in round 1. They beat the fucking Knicks in round 2. They beat the fucking Celtics in round 3 to get to where they are right now. This is unseen. This is unheard of. You don't have an 8 seed that gets this far. They're walking into a buzzsaw, right? They are the feel-good story, but they've been the feel-good story this entire playoff. If they win this championship, it is the biggest upset as far as a team that made the playoffs in the history of the NBA. Like those are the levels that we're dealing with.
But
right,
they're not going to.
They're not going to. That's the thing, is like, you should not, under any circumstances, think Miami should pull this off. Even with Jimmy Butler, if Jimmy Butler is that superstar and puts up superstar numbers every fucking game, it's the best basketball player in the world with the best team in the world. They shouldn't win. There should be no chance of this. It should be a sweep. I'm going to say the Nuggets in 5, just because I think Butler can get one off, and I don't think the Nuggets are going to be pressed.
I don't think he can.
But it doesn't look likely.
After he hurt his ankle.
Remember, don't disrespect the Lakers. And then that is exactly what the Nuggets did. They are not going to slow down.
It's my Jokic hate.
They are not going to slow down. They are going to beat them in 4, and it's not going to be close.
It's my Jokic hate. It shines through. And
look, the other part of it is the reason why the Heat were the 8th seed was because their 3-point shooting and their shooting in general was atrocious all year.
And
right?
Injuries.
And before that, the previous years, their shooters were actually shooting. Like they got Duncan Robinson, who used to be like a lethal shooter. They have Strus. Like they had people who are shooters that just weren't hitting shots all year. Then they got hot to make it to this point.
Yeah.
But once you get here,
you're also looking at a different caliber of defense between what the Celtics were doing and what the Nuggets are doing. There are 0 uncontested shots. Like I don't know why Jaylen Brown decided and Marcus Smart decided to leave people open playing against the Heat, but they did a lot. And there was like clips of like, I think it was Jaylen Brown arguing with the ref instead of closing out shooters.
Smart.
Was it Marcus Smart? Instead of closing out a shooter. You're not going to get that with Denver. They're just doing their job, and they're doing it well. I don't think it's going to be close. And if it is, Jokic will just spinny spin, 40-point triple-double.
So the Celtics had the 5th ranked defense in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the regular season means?
Yeah, just listen. The Nuggets had the 8th. Going into the playoffs, the Nuggets were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They were 7th, and Boston was 8th. So it's the same shit.
Yeah, but like in the regular season, the Heat would sit their entire starting squad for like 3 games at a time. That's regular season doesn't matter.
It's just the quality of look. Miami, the Heat culture thing is getting stuff done with unheralded guys.
Yep,
and that's what Miami is doing. And the thing that Denver's doing, which once again we'll get to, I do want to talk about my hate for Jokic just in a sec. But the thing that Denver's doing is they just have better players, and they have once again the best basketball player in the world in Nikola Jokic. It's not disputable anymore. There's no debate about who's the best basketball player. And once again, I'm going my basketball player hooper thing, right?
No.
Giannis, best hooper. Jokic is the best basketball player. Best basketball player supersedes best hooper. It is what it is. There's no getting around that. I hate that we use these terms and we use adjectives and things to describe stuff that get overplayed, like calling something awesome when it's not really awesome, and calling someone a cheat code when they're not really a cheat code. This guy is kind of a cheat code. Like it's legit here. I don't know what you do to stop this, except hoping that you can
just outscore him.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's like, because if he becomes just a facilitator and kicks stuff out, it's getting it narrowed. It's if there are 3 buckets, because he averages a fucking triple-double, right? It's to get one of those off. It's just, let's get one of those statistics to not be as high, to not get to double digits. And let's be the sole focus of what we do. That's the only way that you might have a chance at trying to drive something past it. And it still won't happen most likely because they're so well-rounded in other ways. But it's the only hope that you have is to, all right, we're going to have a day where we're just going to out-rebound the motherfucker. We're just going to play harder in the paint and do that. Okay, cool.
That doesn't work.
Get him in foul trouble.
It's either you gotta either take away points or assists. The rebounds don't matter because you still got like Aaron Gordon, like all these other guys, like to take these rebounds. It doesn't have to be Jokic.
You have to get him in foul trouble. That is the only way to beat him, is to get him off the floor.
Yep.
Yeah, but then they slot him out and put Gordon and other guys down there to do other things with Bang.
Was beating the shit out of people in the post. Oh, that game was so good.
Well, that's the thing with Miami is that
Miami's
second best player is Bam Adebayo, and Bam is Bam. We know who he is. He's done the Heat culture thing, which is outperformed who he is, right? But it's just a different beast. All right. If you'll allow me for just a moment.
I don't think we have to beat this dead horse, but let's listen to you talk about why you're racist.
I'm racist because of hundreds of years of persecution.
No, he isn't fucking Serbia. Stop it.
No.
Stop it.
All right, look, man. Nikola Jokic, it bothers me. It shouldn't bother me. And I know that it's a character flaw, I guess. And it's something that I need to work myself through.
But
because there's indisputable. No, I think I'll get there. I really do. But
after you retire, the fuck.
No. I think by next year. I can get there. But the Nikola Jokic should be my favorite player in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything that I've said on this pod about big men, everything I've said as far as personality types that I like. He's hilarious. He's a hard worker. Did you ever read the article about I think it was ESPN dropped an article not a few days ago, maybe last week, about when him and his trainer decided he was going to go try to make a run for MVP. The story there is fucking incredible, and it's so down to earth. They were like because they were winning. They were winning in Denver, and he's like, like you could be the superstar. Like you need to take it next level. And Nikola got angry at him. I don't care about that. I don't care about the personal accolades. I don't care. And he's like, no, I mean, if you become this guy that we know you can be, you guys are going to win championships. And he took a sec, thought about it. It's all right, let's do it. After every game, win or loss, he's in the gym working. They said that there's hours that he's out of the gym shooting, working out. He's lost so much weight. Like to look at him now to where he was 3-4 years ago, he's just still a doughy human being.
This, Luka? Do you hear this, Luka?
Luka once again, Hooper. The Luka needs to learn how to be a basketball player. I'm not relenting on that. And this is the first. You heard it here first. Luka will not win playing the way that he plays. It's impossible, and people are not going to want to play with him.
And I like how we're talking about Jokic, and somehow we just like
no, they're the two great white hopes in both categories, right? Luka's got the hooper, fucking Jokic got the basketball player. It's a frustrating time. I thought the years of Larry Bird long ago. I have to deal with this shit.
You weren't even watching.
I'm saying, yeah, but you hear the stories. It's like, okay, they have the great white hope. It's over. The most I have to deal with is Steve Nash just passing the ball, or John Stockton's overrated ass. Nikola Jokic should be absolutely my favorite player in the NBA. I think he'll get there just because it is becoming more enjoyable to watch him work. There's still things I don't like.
Like what?
His skin color?
Like he definitely plays harder and faster than he used to. So like if you look at Jokic play 3 years ago, even right, he's a lot faster now than he was then. And I know that it still looks like somebody fucking trudging through a pool at times, but that's just because of how massive a human being he is.
300 pounds. Like what do you want him to do?
Yeah, like are you saying that
he's moving his body? I hate
watching Shaq because Shaq is slow.
Shaq wasn't slow. At
30, Shaq wasn't slow?
All right, you talking about Suns Shaq? Yeah, those are not my memories.
Jokic's just like 29. He's not going to be fast.
Shaq wasn't 29 at that point. Shaq was older than that. You talking about 90 years Shaq? We're talking about, my favorite Shaq is Magic Shaq.
Yep,
that's my favorite Shaq. He was the most terrifying player that has ever existed in the NBA is late stage Magic Shaq. Period. When he goes to LA, he starts eating. He makes that Steel movie, and it all just sort of
That just prepped him for his future career as being a DJ. Anyway, let's finish why you're racist.
Decent rapper.
Yeah, dude, I like that song.
And he's a cop or a sheriff.
Look, Jokic should be. I think Jokic will get there. It's just winning the championship. There's a hatred for Jokic that exists. You can see it on Twitter. You hear it on the talking heads. There's this underlying current.
No,
I'm telling you right now.
We're not talking about others' hatred.
No, I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that it exists. They're not telling you why. I'm telling you why. It's all the same reason. They all feel the same way I do. It's because he's white. Period.
And I don't identify as white. I identify as Jewish. So
there you go. And it's I don't think reverse racism is a thing. It's fucking stupid. We're talking like but am I prejudiced against seeing the white guy dominate all the black guys? Ooh, sounds like a porno I might be into.
Check your browser history.
No, he knows what's on his browser history. It's us that should be checking it.
You're chewing on the microphone, okay?
Jokic will be my favorite player, but it's such a because Jimmy Butler's my favorite player, and so it's hard to say.
Let's advance it right quick. So if Jokic wins,
no,
like I saw
when.
Okay, like so I saw Chris.
Don't disrespect Jimmy Butler like that.
I saw Chris Broussard early this week saying that Jokic was already better than Dirk. He's better than Kevin Garnett.
Yep,
he's better than Charles Barkley.
Yes.
Yeah.
You think he's better than Dirk?
Oh yeah. He just like that's the thing is like Nikola Jokic. If we're looking at just what the way he facilitates and the way that he can play finesse if he needs to, right? It doesn't look pretty, but he can be finesse and the ball goes in. He can also bang in the paint. Like that's the thing is like that's why like
I put them in separate categories. So like Jokic.
Yeah, but we're just ranking. Like again, they're different, right?
Like,
they're very different.
What you value more? Okay.
They're different.
What do you value? Points, rebounds, or assists?
What was my comparison?
Is a better score.
What was my comparison earlier? Right, and I said that
better score than Jokic.
What? I just don't think they're asking him to do that.
No. Yeah, what I'm saying is Dirk is a better scorer than Jokic.
I think out of necessity, but I think if Jokic had to be a scorer,
if he had to be, he couldn't be better than Dirk. So that's just his
whatever. All right, fine. Maverick guy. The comp that I'm making. Maverick guy.
No, you're Maverick just a guy.
The comp
Luka Dirk.
Right.
That's what the conversation with Chris Broussard was when we talk about Jokic's legacy. Like, so if he wins, he would put them Dirk and
he's saying
Jokic.
You mentioned Luka earlier.
Oh yeah, I know.
Mavs guy.
Whatever. But what if Jokic wins? Where do you rank him?
I don't know yet. It's got like
is he top 20?
No, I mean I'm not doing that yet. The where he ends up at the end of this is going to be contingent on some stuff. Like look, I'm still trying to wrap my head around this guy and whether or not I like him or not. Okay, so you're asking me to do a whole lot.
You don't like him. We know.
Stop! You pollute my brain. I can't think. Okay, it's just I'm feeling emotional. I need to just get through this with logic.
Okay.
God damn it.
Some emotion.
Up I made earlier, and not because of the style of play, but because of what they asked him to do, is Tim Duncan. Duncan could have been much more of any one particular thing if he was anywhere else but San Antonio with Greg Popovich, right? But what did Greg Pop need him to do? Whatever it is I need from you, depending on what it is the team is around, is what I need you to be. Okay? This is not about MVP. This is not about this, that, and the other. It's about what we need to do to win a championship. Jokic is the same thing. It's that general concept. Their games are different because I actually think I pick Jokic probably in every category above Tim Duncan if I'm trying to pick or build a basketball player, right? And it's the same way that I would say that, like, you ever see like those the every year before the NFL season or in that time right now where there's nothing going on, where like if you had to make a NFL quarterback take whose arm, who's this,
Drew Brees' arm, Tom Brady's left eye.
Are you saying that Jokic is better than Tim Duncan? I'm asking. Like Ryan's saying, yeah. Look at Ryan. Look at Ryan.
Here, this is what I'm saying. Don't rush me. This is what I'm saying.
Okay.
If this is one of those charts where I'm picking pieces off a guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd be hard pressed to pick more pieces off of anybody than Nikola Jokic. That being said, Tim Duncan has a full-blown career of how many championships and this, that, and the other. Jokic can't be there unless he brings me championships. To put him in the category with Dirk Nowitzki, I couldn't say he's better than Dirk Nowitzki because he doesn't have a championship yet, right? But if he gets one, and how many does Dirk have? 2?
1. We went to
if
the finals.
Nikola Jokic gets a championship, he's better than Dirk Nowitzki. If he gets
Kevin Garnett, 1.
He's better than Kevin Garnett with 1. Because once again, and somebody posted this, and I think I put it in the thread, or I at least commented on it, that 08 Celtics team, there needs to be a come to Jesus on that. And I'm ready to do whatever. But there needs to be a come to Jesus moment on that.
Will you get to your point here?
That's all. He was asking whether or not I thought Dirk or whatever was better. And I'm just saying,
we'll switch the conversation.
But if he wins as many as Tim Duncan, I'm going to pick him over Tim.
I wouldn't. All right. So look, if Jimmy Butler wins,
white, black.
Won't.
No, motherfucker. We just talked about you and your hatred towards Jokic, and I said I like him, and then I just said that he's not going to be better than Tim Duncan. So look, listen.
You're like woke.
If Jimmy Butler wins, what does that do for his legacy? If anything,
it makes
him the greatest leader of any team ever. Like the team that's currently constructed around Jimmy Butler will not win this championship. But if they could in the future with 900 undrafted players, may make him and Spo the greatest tandem of maybe all time.
I think it's more Pat Riley.
Look, Pat's always going to get credit, but you don't give Pat all the credit for
Not all the credit.
Pat is asleep by 8:30 Monday through Saturday.
Also accounted for a quarter of the NBA champions.
But Pat Riley. So like, if we're looking at those, if we're looking at the LeBron, Bosh, Wade years, how much credit do you give Pat Riley? A lot, right? Behind the scenes of facilitating stuff, right? So like, there's
all those egos.
Bienvenido, Miami.
So the Jimmy Butler, it's along the lines of what Ryan said. It now becomes, you know how I've said that one of the biggest feats I've ever seen in my history of watching basketball is Iverson getting the 1 win over the Lakers.
This
rivals this.
Yeah. This is to me, it's almost exactly the same. He is pulling
it's Kobe
them,
and Shaq.
Yeah. He has pulled them through to the finals, willed them there.
Yeah. There's no superstar with a worse supporting cast in a finals, probably.
Yeah. This is
if he wins, that's just that. If he wins.
I was like,
if he wins.
Even if they beat the Nuggets once, that is something to be rivaled.
100%. Like the thing is, if he gets the 1 win, I'm not putting on the Iverson level. Once again, Shaq and Kobe and Phil Jackson, that an impossibility. The beating Jokic for a game, to me, extends Jimmy Butler's legacy. And next season, when we're doing the whole power ranking stuff, Butler starts easily top 10, right? So like, and he wasn't at the beginning of this season or the season before.
AD shows up and is like a all-star again next year.
Him and Embiid, frustrating as all fuck.
And the Sixers. So bad. I was going to transition to the Sixers, but there's another thing I want to ask y'all about. So apparently, I think it was this week, Dame put up his $7 million home in Portland.
He's just getting a bigger house.
Probably. Yeah. But I mean, it's not like you can't just buy another one. But
in this economy?
Yeah. Yeah. You see his contracts? Yeah. If he were to leave, what would be the best fit for him? I mean, I don't know if you guys thought about it yet, but I'm gonna name name two teams.
Got
first one I'm thinking about is Milwaukee. Him next to Giannis would be kind of crazy, and I think that would somewhat help Milwaukee in their cap situation. Outside of that, I could think of, I would like to see what Dame looks like next to Embiid. That would be pretty nice too, and it gets Dame out the West. Same thing with Milwaukee. Like he has a better shot of getting to the finals outside of the West. So besides those two, what other teams do you guys think he would fit good in? The Heat? How? How would they facilitate that one? That would be nice.
Trade the entire roster other than Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler and Lowry.
If Portland's ready to do a rebuild, you'd love some of those contracts.
So you would keep Lowry?
Lowry, Butler.
I said I would trade everyone except.
I know Ryan said he would keep Lowry.
Yeah,
Why?
Yeah. That's the one contract you want to
what?
Oh yeah, that contract is pretty disgusting.
Is horrific.
Yeah. So
he fell off the cliff.
Jimmy and Dame, and then go get like 14 G Leaguers and make it to the finals.
All right. So outside of Miami,
that's what they're
pay
doing.
Me. No.
That's what they're doing now.
Miami, you came up with Miami.
Yeah.
KDot.
Wizards. Just cause.
No. Come on, be for real.
Wait, you can get out of that, Bradley. Send fucking Brad over there. Fuck it.
Let them switch places. Let Brad get a change of pace. Dame get a change of pace. Go. Hey, Brad, go out west and not win a championship. Dame, come east and not win a championship.
No, why would he want to go to Portland East? That makes no sense.
It doesn't. I just want to get rid of Bradley Beal. I love you, Brad. It's over.
No, it should be the Sixers. I just don't know if they're smart enough to do it. They're with the process. I don't. I think what James Harden has a player option. He's not going to want to go to Portland. So who else can they trade?
Everyone else. You can offer if you're going to. So the Sixers right now are in that territory where Boston sort of is. That's why those two teams probably make the most sense to have something happen. Is that there's not a whole lot you can do to improve overall the roster you have. You're just not getting it done. So like the Celtics on paper, they have everything you probably should need to win a championship, right?
That's a good one, Ryan.
So what do you do? If you're the Celtics, you need to move somebody. Jaylen Brown he's the one that makes the most sense because he's his
contract's about to be up too.
But he has wanted to leave ever since he was in the rumors for the KD thing, and he hasn't been the same since.
And Boston's racist.
Whatever. But
so it's KDot. What are we talking about here?
I was talking to my girlfriend about Boston in the car the other day because I was telling her I'd almost moved to Boston. I actually had the moving truck packed, and then it changed
right in.
It depends where in Boston you are.
Boston's racism is different than other places' racism, and here's why. Boston is completely tribalistic. It fully encompasses tribalism, right? It's not going down south and white people of all races just kind of get together against black people, right? Or it just that feeling. In Boston, it's the Italians stay with the Italians, the Irish stay with the Irish, the Hispanics stay with the Hispanics, the blacks stay with the black, and they don't fuck with anybody else.
And there's one town of Jews.
That's how it works up there, right? It's you stick to your tribe. But beyond that, you know what I give appreciation for? You know what I give appreciation for in Boston compared to other places? You know where they vote? Democrat all the time. You know why? They believe in unions. They believe in a working class. They believe in those things. So while they hate each other, they will put aside their differences to get shit done that helps everybody.
Also, it's cold as ball sack, so they don't see each other for 3 months out of the year.
Boston's just truth. It's the way that people feel about each other, letting it shine to a certain degree.
Jail.
They didn't like something, and instead of starting a war, they just dumped all the tea into the water. Like we also got to remember that Boston and Massachusetts is the full fighting spirit of America.
Like
they're the most historic America. Like they're
calling it jail.
It's not like no, but jail's different.
Tribalism.
Jail's a little different.
They stick together.
Yeah, but for survival.
Or maybe jail is just taking stuff from the outside and doing it again on the inside.
Jail is stealing from Boston.
It's it's not in jail. It's for survival because you have murderers and killers in a system
like Boston.
Stop.
It's not that. It's a different thing. Boston is nonsensical racism. It's just sticking to your own and staying away. My feelings against
everybody.
It doesn't make sense.
They hate everybody that isn't them instead of just singling out one person.
But then there's also, you know what they fall back on? Be somebody from New York. I would show up to Boston in my Yankees gear, and universally, all races would want to fight me, because then they fall back on the Massachusetts Boston thing. It's just how they run up there. It's how they operate. What the fuck were we talking about? What are we
Jaylen Brown.
We were talking about
straight swap for Dame.
Oh, not a straight swap at all.
No,
but the
Dame
Jaylen Brown, they could put some things together to make it work. Because what do you need to do? They just need to jostle something loose, right? They need to make something happen. This is a team that should have a championship. I think it probably has a lot to do with coaching. There's a significant drop off from Ime Udoka and his staff to Mike Muscala. Joe Mazzulla. Sorry. I'm getting
Mike Muscala played for like the Hawks, right?
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about the last name and I just threw it up.
But he was on Udoka's staff though. They were the same staff.
Yeah. They elevated one guy.
Yeah.
I get it. But it's one thing to have the guys work for him in this staff. You want to see something? Look at how much this staff leaves to go work with Ime over this offseason. It's going to be huge. Okay. I wouldn't expect almost anyone is going to return to Boston that was under Ime's staff. They're going to go follow him.
Yeah.
That's going to be something that happens. But then also like the Philadelphia 76ers, they should have a championship. And the fact is that you had the superstar not show up. You have in Tatum, he didn't fully transform into a superstar. Yeah, some great playoff moments, but he didn't fully transform. And Embiid has just been a disappointment. You need to get something loose. You've been this far, you've gotten this far. Let's just make something happen. Because the other answer is just run it back. Like you can look at Boston, you can look at Philly, and you can look through everybody that's available and say the best option is to run it back, just do better, guys. But you can't do that for so long.
The championship's coming out of the East.
Fuck you.
The Sixers are gonna win.
As they should have. Embiid.
No.
God damn it.
It's the same shit that's been happening forever. It's not going to change.
But if you're the Sixers, Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, everybody's on the block, right?
They've always been on the block. They were on the block last year.
I mean, on the trade block.
I know. The trade block last year. It just nobody wants Tobias Harris.
We got Harden. We're gonna win.
I mean, Brooklyn wanted it.
Brooklyn wanted whatever.
I thought that Brooklyn had them on, and that's where what's the name? Daryl Morey was like, "We're not now."
I think.
And the Harris contract just looks bad this year. It didn't look bad. It's bad
last year.
We know
not as bad.
I think we know that if Dame leaves, after
it's never good.
After talking all that shit about staying in Portland, it's going to be to a championship contender. So it's
right.
Somebody
somebody
who's in the
wherever Dame goes next, he will not be the number one. He can't be. That makes no sense. It's you're the number one in Portland. Like you're not going to go somewhere else where you're no. He has to be either 1B or number 2.
Well, there's another thing that's happening that I need someone smarter than anyone here on this pod to explain to me, which is the rules with the salary cap and the luxury tax. So there's a lot of changes happening with the CBA and basketball.
Yep.
That is about to change how much these teams are able to afford when it comes to superstars.
Watch Milwaukee. It's gonna be a mass exodus.
There's the mass exodus thing, but it also means every other team in the league has to reevaluate the way they're divvying out the contract. So
yeah,
I think that
Milwaukee's particularly screwed.
No, Milwaukee's particularly screwed, but the thing that Milwaukee will always have is Giannis Antetokounmpo. So if other teams, yeah, I get it. But if you're Boston, right? Boston's not going to be able to. Boston has to get rid of somebody because they're not going to be able to pay Tatum, Brown, and Smart. You have.
I think Smart can go.
I think Smart's more important than Brown.
I think Brown's more valuable in the market, but I agree with you.
And Jalen doesn't want to be there.
Boston.
So why would you want to handcuff him to a team he doesn't want to be at?
But I think
for $296 million, he's got to go.
He plays an important position. I'll say that.
Got to go.
You don't find
right. And you don't want to pay someone who doesn't want to be on your team $296 million. That's his supermax.
But the thing, you're looking at teams are only going to be able to really afford two guys. And if that's going to be So like, even if you're looking at some of the young teams right now that have like got a bunch of talent. So like, if I look at Oklahoma City, they're going to be fucked 4 years from now. Like, there's going to be a lot of teams that have to make decisions on some young talents and young cores.
I don't think so, bro.
They will be. They're going to not all of them are going to be able to be on the same team. That's the thing.
But the other part is like the cool part that I like about how OKC did it is you're right. They got a lot of people that are producing that are young that are going to come up for contracts at the same time, but they still have a wave of first round picks to the point.
Yeah, I get that.
They
So
can
they'll
move
be
some of those
replenished.
people,
And hopefully
I'm saying they can move them for people on their rookie deal still.
Hold on. Hopefully those whoever gets drafted or whoever they can pick up will cost. So even if they get to a point where they could trade out for guys on the rookie contract, right? You're still kind of kicking the can down the road. And usually if you're going to have dudes that want to move, you're going to get role player type guys. But the bottom line is there's only going to be space unless you got guys on the rookie contracts for two established guys in the league. And most of these guys on rookie contracts, you're not going to win anything with them because it takes time to learn or get to the point where you can win championships, right? So
which is why Dame to the Heat would be very easy to do.
So Dame to the Heat, you got Jimmy, you got Dame, Heat culture, we'll figure out the role players. Possibility. Could make sense. If you're
also Portland to Miami, upgrade.
If you're Philadelphia and you're like, hey, Harden's not coming back, let's put him with Embiid. Maybe this works out better. I'd kick the tires on that and then know that everybody else is up.
Of course you would. They're coming out of the East.
I still think the team that makes the most sense is the Wizards.
All right, moving on.
I'm looking for OKC in terms of cap. Yeah, I mean, they have the sixth most cap space in the NBA right now.
Not for long.
Yeah.
They got a bunch of dudes that are all going to need to get paid. And unless this new guy is just a fucking psycho, which he might be, they can't keep everybody.
So like Shy's at 33, Dort's at 15, Chet Holmgren, who hasn't even played a game, at 10.
Jalen Williams is going to get paid.
Which Jalen Williams?
The better one.
Yeah, but they got a while, don't they?
What?
2 years.
I think they got a while before they get paid. Yeah, and they made the playoffs this year.
I'm speaking to the new rules and what it's going to mean as far as teams and the way they build. What you saw that Golden State did
never happened again.
It's not happening anymore.
They saved $200 million, whatever it was. That was crazy. All right, so let's switch to coaching changes. There's been a few. I'm gonna say a couple names, and then you guys tell me what you think about how the team is gonna do, and how do you feel about the hire itself. So we can start with the Suns and Frank Vogel. Don't care.
It's fine. Monty Williams is a good coach.
Yeah, it wasn't a coaching issue. It was an issue with bringing in a superstar late in the season
and
superstar getting hurt. Chris Paul going down, as he always does. I don't know. I don't know if a coaching change is what they needed, but if you have to scapegoat somebody, it's not going to be your star player. So
it was supposed to be Aiden.
Yeah, they made a decision.
Aiden lost his soul against Giannis. He's never been the same. But get used to him because he'll be in a fucking Mavericks uniform in a little bit. It's going to happen.
That's what people are saying.
It's going to happen. It's just the only thing that makes sense.
On my team because the shit happens. Stop talking about my teams.
It's going to. This is Alex Leatherwood levels of this is happening.
Stop it.
Fucking used to it.
But you can fire. You can fire coaches. You can't fire players. So
yeah, you could trade them.
Yeah, look, that's what they're going to do. You can't. They had to scapegoat somebody immediately.
I don't hate Frank Vogel. He's fine. He's whatever. But this is not an upgrade.
You can't have that when you got like KD in his last few years.
You can.
It's fine. It's whatever. Like you can't have that as your coach, your leader of the team.
No, you can. Because
KD doesn't need to be coached.
KD isn't responding to anybody's coaching. I don't give a fuck who you are.
They said that in Brooklyn. KD doesn't need a coach.
Beyond that, Yeah,
That's how
but
that
Brooklyn and they never were healthy at the same time. On the
they played like 14 games together.
They ain't win shit.
But Vogel has a championship. Bubble, Bron, fucking AD and them. So there's some semblance of he can let the stars cook and do whatever they need to do. So I don't know, but I just, if I look at Frank Vogel, I look at Monty Williams, I'm saying that's not an upgrade.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Speaking of Monty Williams, he ended up with the Pistons. I love that for the Pistons.
I love it for the Pistons. I don't fucking understand Monty.
They gave him $72 million.
I understand it better.
yeah, 72 million.
They were like, hey,
I think that's the most ever, right? That's like a fucking NFL contract.
I'm sure Monty was sitting there and they're like, I'm gonna write a number down on this piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And then they slid it over and he went, all right, I like Detroit. And that was that.
You know how much you could buy in Detroit with that?
You can buy Detroit.
Sorry, sidebar. Lando Norris, 3rd place. Fuck yeah, baby! Upgrade packaging working for McLaren. Sorry, I didn't get to watch the race.
Gonna do tomorrow. Yeah,
like right? No, he's got qualifying. It's huge.
It's qualifying. Yeah, and then when the race come, oh shit, mechanical failure
for McLaren. We don't have this.
I mean, on paper, the Pistons are not great, but they got some pieces.
Yeah, they definitely do.
So they got my boy Buddy Boeheim.
No.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got to pay me a lot to live in Detroit. So shout out.
Yeah, but how far does your dollar stretch in Detroit?
Not that much. You get robbed every goddamn day.
No.
You ever see the movie Barbarian? You guys see the movie Barbarian? Horror movie came out not too long ago with Justin Long.
I don't watch horror movies.
It's fucking great. So great. It takes place in Detroit.
All right.
Cool
Last one.
I think it was Detroit. Maybe it was Cleveland.
This one's for KDot.
Same place.
Yeah.
Let's see how KDot feels about this one, Ryan. Nick Nurse going to the Sixers.
Trust the process. Jimmy's coming out of the East.
East next year.
What?
Are the Sixers coming out the East next year?
I ain't saying that now. Come talk to me in a few months.
If everything stays the same, nobody moves.
No.
Okay.
Well, and watch this be the year that they do it. So then I'm psyching myself back into something. I don't know.
You know what happens after the surgery fails? The doctor leaves the room and they send in a nurse. And the nurse is the one that finally pulls the plug. That's to tell the family we're sorry. The process didn't work. And then that's that. That's how it dies.
I hate y'all motherfuckers. Like, yeah.
Like, I don't like me either, but it's one, not an upgrade. Right?
Oh, well, I don't know about that. I actually
you're gonna talk yourself into thinking it's an upgrade. But okay. They need to move pieces in for Embiid. Pieces need to move. It's not a coaching issue. I think some of it could come down to coaching and not being able to get Embiid or the team to play hard for the entire game. But I think that if you have some cohesion and you are winning by larger amounts, I feel like it will work itself out because Embiid is a superstar. I'm not sure Nick Nurse is the guy or if it even matters who's there.
He's not. Like, I could tell from the press conference.
What? It's also Philly. Philly's a tough place to be.
Yeah.
That's where Mauricio lives.
Y'all don't like Nick Nurse as a coach?
I'm indifferent.
Yeah, I'm indifferent. I don't think the coaching.
I thought he's done a hell of a job in Toronto.
It's Toronto.
Yeah, I think he's done a hell of a job for Toronto. They win the championship and they've been kicking around playoffs contender. They've been in playoffs.
That was Kawhi.
I'm saying after Kawhi, they've still been in playoff contention with a roster that's not that great.
I think did they move him in so they could bring.
They got a lot of players.
They got players, but I'm just saying that if we're looking at what superstar they got?
Fred VanVleet.
And Fred
That's a superstar? That's a superstar?
I mean, that is why Fred VanVleet's going to be a Sixer.
Maybe. I mean, they got to do Harden's gone. I don't think that's the end of Harden, but look, when it comes to the Sixers, look, I give Doc, like I said, Doc Rivers deserves credit for knowing how to handle certain personality types, and knowing how to treat veterans without making them feel
veteran-y.
Right. Well, no, to make them feel veteran-y and to not make them feel like, when Ron Rivera got to Washington and he was telling guys like Trent Williams, it's a competition and everybody needs to show or prove they're here. And it's like, motherfucker, what?
I'm Trent Williams.
I'm Trent Williams.
What he was dealing with.
Huh? Well, even beyond that, it's just like people in basketball need to know you can't treat everybody the same way. It ain't like football, right? It's not next guy up mentality. It's I treat my superstars differently than everybody else, and everybody just needs to understand that. And I think Doc Rivers knows how to manage that. But as far as what he needs to do to get guys energized to a point of making something happen, he wasn't that. And once again, Doc Rivers' championship comes from an 08 Celtics team that we need to reevaluate.
Anything is well. Sorry. I'm not.
What was the tweet? Was the tweet? There's no team that's done that is lived off of one championship in the history of any sport than these motherfuckers. And it's true. Yeah. Like, you would have thought they won 3.
The other part of it is like they were great for so long, like by themselves, and they came together and won something.
Yes. And then the Big 3 era.
Yeah.
So they have the legacy there, but it's like the way they talk about it.
It's Boston.
Yeah, and then you add that to it. Yeah, the Boston-ness of it, the Celtics and the pedigree.
Hall of Famers like beforehand, but yeah, I get like the whole thing about it now. But
I love the little tidbit that 2 Boston teams in the playoffs lost to 8 seeds this year. In hockey and in basketball.
But the Nick Nurse hire overall, I thought, yeah, I like it. It's as far as guys that are available at coach, I think it was between him and Monty. And
you would as far as the Nick Nurse over Monty?
No, I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm just saying that of the two guys that if I'm a Wizards fan, but I've been rooting for the Sixers to win because I want to be right. So like I'm not a Sixers fan as much as I want to be correct. So and I've just been wrong. I've been in a purgatory of wrong.
You may as well just say that the Wizards are gonna win everything because you'd be just as right.
Mm-hmm. No, the Wizards haven't sniffed it. The Celtics. Celtics,
it's better than not sniffing it than getting so close and then just
not bad for my prediction. I'm more right if they get further.
No, that's not how that works.
It's just not right over.
Either right or wrong.
Yeah, this is
fuck you guys. It's if there's a test, right, and you have great. It's like
it's not what you said.
It's like 60%.
You almost got the answer right, but it's off.
Yeah, you get 0.
Yeah,
but I showed my work.
You weren't a good test.
I was close.
You were wrong.
I'm still wrong, but we're all wrong.
At the end of the day, you're wrong. That's all that matters.
None of our picks for championship were correct.
Mine was closer.
But because I'm out there, fuck you.
Brian, you can't do that.
You see what you see?
No, he said no.
Same logic.
No. I'm saying fuck you just in general. He's saying fuck you because you're being a hypocrite. So I'm not
purposefully hypocritical.
All right, we're good then. All right, so final thoughts. Anybody have anything?
I know where I'm going. I go first.
No.
Oh God!
Save it to last, because then I can mute and then we'll be good.
Right. Brian. I mean, it's just gonna be him because I'm gonna leave.
Brian,
final thoughts.
The Mets suck.
No, the Mets are great. Man, I've just been working so much. I'm kind of sad because we're in that period where like it's just gonna be baseball.
Still soccer.
I mean, one more week.
Yeah, true.
And then it's just baseball, and that's kind of depressing. I really like sandwiches, but I like other things that go with my sandwiches, like sides. And I'm just gonna have sandwiches for like 4 months. I like sports. I mean, baseball is a sandwich. Like sometimes I want a hamburger, and I'm only gonna
sandwich.
That's true, but I like a salad. I like a salad.
That's
Sometimes I like some
you
chips.
pick the one food that like the side dishes mean the least because it's a sandwich. It's complete. You don't really need it's potato chips, fries. What other sorts of kind of potato that you have on the side of a sandwich?
A salad.
Who the fuck?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like you check. What the fuck? This is the most boring. It's like I like my protein, but I need size to go. Like that would have made more sense. Like I need my salmon, but I need something to go with it. I need a steak, but I need something to go with it. I like something with my sandwich. What, a bag of chips, a side salad? You fuck.
No, other than just eating sandwiches every day.
There are only 3 sides to go with the sandwich.
I'm not even saying sides. I'm just saying I want a sandwich one day. I want steak the next.
All
so you want a completely different meal. That's fine.
Right,
but you didn't say that, fucker. Look, you said sides.
That was Ryan's final thought. Mine is simple. It's possible that Messi's going to turn down $2.4 billion to return to Barcelona.
It's never going to happen.
What do you mean it's never going to happen?
Oh, boy.
No, it's not an argument. I'm just asking a question.
Nobody's turning down $2.4 billion ever.
Ever. Ever.
I mean,
look, for $2 billion.
Hey,
that's an easy.
Ryan, look, I'm with you, but it's a distinct possibility. It's like 80% chance right now.
Okay.
Yeah, like it, because Saudi said that they were going to give him $1.2 billion a year. Mm-hmm. Well, not dollars, euros a year, right? Which is nuts.
Yeah.
And then it came out that they're worried and they feel like they're gonna have to up their offer, which is like, what the fuck? So you already told them like, nah. And then they're like, all right, we're gonna have to give him more.
Yes. Great. That's his agent doing a really good job.
Yeah.
Nobody's turning down $2 billion.
His dad's doing the negotiating deals and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, we'll figure it out within the next, they said like 9 days from now.
Mm-hmm. Remember when Ronaldo was never going to go to the Saudi league? And then
I was like, they're paying him double what it is they pay Ronaldo.
They would, yeah.
Yeah, you're not saying
that.
Look,
so we'll know we should know before the next time we do our next pod, we should know. So this will be interesting to see what happens.
You want to place bets?
Nope.
You said 80% chance he turns it down, right?
80% chance he turns it down.
I bet you $5 he takes it.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
5 of his dollars. 5 of that $2.4 billion.
Yeah, Messi can pay up, but
nah. There's other talks about like Inter Miami giving him proposal to sign him because I know that he wants to play in the US.
Yeah, he'll go get $2 billion
contract's worth the
first.
entire MLS.
Listen, bro, let me speak.
Is that contract worth more than the entire MLS?
Yes.
Yeah. So they were saying that Inter Miami was supposed to sign him, and then they were going to loan him to Barcelona for the next few years so that he can play in the Copa. I think it's a Copa. Yeah, the Copa America. Actually having played in the top 5 league. Like with that time, but we'll see.
It's $2 billion.
It is. It's crazy.
Oh,
but what does it say if he does turn it down?
Major League Soccer is worth $16.3 billion.
Okay, but what's the salaries of the players?
I'm just looking at value. So, like, all right, if the highest team valuation in all of MLS is LAFC.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a $900 million valuation. So he'd be worth more than some of the franchises.
He already has more than that amount of money.
You're not giving up $2 billion to work for 2 years.
That's crazy. I know. I agree with you, Ryan. But if
but you just bet against
it. There's no but.
You just bet $5 against it.
All right.
You literally just bet $5 against that happening.
Oh, I know. Because I that's what I think is going to happen.
I'm muting myself. So you can talk about Succession.
Oh yeah, let me mute the look. Just wave your hand once you finish.
No, because
I haven't seen it.
It's over.
Oh, I'm not spoiling anything.
Okay,
you probably will.
Yeah, don't spoil anything.
And it's the greatest show on television.
This will be the last time I talk about it on the pod because it's over. And we just did we did one of the best episodes that we've had on the ASOS channel last week about the end of the show. If you want to know all about it, it's there for you. Once again, is Succession. I've rewatched the finale a few more times since we did the pod, and I'm in the middle of rewatching the entirety of season 4. And then when my girlfriend gets back into town, we're going to start from the beginning and work all the way through. Succession is the second greatest television show of all time, not including comedies. It's just absolutely incredible. And if you haven't watched it, I don't understand what's wrong with you. You're a fucking idiot. And that's it. Do better.
Or like you have other stuff to do.
Ryan, you don't. I know you have time to do other
behind. Yes,
you do other things. I know you do other things.
Yeah, outside.
So watch it outside. You got a fucking phone. Get your Max and walk and do the shit. Watch scenes in between golf swings, asshole.
Random question. What happened to Jay Mariotti?
Huh?
Earlier you talked about Jay Mariotti.
Yeah, he had some I don't know if it ever went all the way through, but he had a lot of accusations about stuff that was happening that he became persona non grata. I have it right here in persona non grata.
What does that mean?
Person you don't fuck with.
Yeah,
person no one fucks with.
An unwelcome person.
Okay. So here it is. In January 2009, he joined AOL's fan house website, blah, 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 blah. And September 30th, 2010, Mariotta pleaded no contest to a misdemeanor battery count connected to an August 21st arrest in Los Angeles for alleged domestic violence involving a girlfriend. And August 2010, Mariotta was suspended from AOL and stopped appearing on Around the Horde or any other ESPN properties. Mariotta has maintained his innocence, stating that he pleaded no contest only to avoid the cost of the trial. Some charges against him were expunged in 2013. Yeah, but he hasn't really done it. He did a podcast with Woody Page for a while.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, you remember, like, I watched Around the Horn every day.
You said the name. I was like, oh, yeah, I do remember. And then I looked him up. I was like, oh, yeah, what the fuck happened to him?
Think about all these guys that got to start. Like, Dan Le Batard was on there. Bomani Jones was on there. What's his name? Do y'all watch Brother to Brother? NBC's show, their talking head show. It's with Michael Smith and Michael Holley.
Nope.
You remember Michael Holley, the dude with the dreads that was on Around the Horn? They have a show on NBC. Sometimes our views are higher than theirs on YouTube. It's rough, but they are great. They are great. They're amazing, and they deserve more views. So after you watch this video, go please check them out, or give me a job.
Check out the rest of our shit. Then go over there.
All right, y'all.
Your priority should be watch this, watch Succession, watch the Succession pod, then go check out Brother to Brother.
And then the rest of our shit.
Eventually.
No, fucker.
But no, after you do that, go email NBC and say, hire KDot. He wants to be on Brother to Brother to Brother.
Oh.
I'll bring you guys with me. That was second. I'll do like Club Shay Shay on the side.
All right. All right.
It's over. I'll hit stop.
I know, but there's one thing I forgot to say.
All right, go ahead.
We're all praying for DC Young Fly. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
That sucks. Majorly.
Fucking tough, man. Like, they got a bunch of kids together too.
I just don't know what I just know it happened, and the only reason I could trust that it happened was the Wild and Out page.
Yeah.
And because even TMZ, when TMZ confirmed, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's weird. Black news, black new media has been really weird recently. Like the Jamie Foxx stuff that I don't understand how they're going that far with. It's just been weird, so I don't never know what to believe. But yeah, absolutely. Rest in peace, and yeah, prayers and thoughts and all positive well wishes and everything to DC Young Fly and his family.
Yeah, I hope he has people in place that can help him. You know, it's tough.
Absolutely. All right, go watch Succession, people.